Hey guys, what's going on? So this will be this channel's first video in English, and it's gonna be about the 5 best car shows on Netflix right now. As we all know, Netflix is one of the biggest streaming and production companies in the world. So it's no surprise they've also come up with their own car shows for us to watch. So if you're a gearhead, you know car shows are one of the best things we got in life. Whether they are about mods, restorations, actions, or races, there are many ways to enjoy cars on TV. So that's the reason for this video, and we are gonna rank these shows from the least good to the best. Oh, and it's worth mentioning that there will be no spoilers, so don't worry if you haven't seen any of these shows already. Let's begin. Number 5, Car Masters Road to Riches. So this one's about a restoration workshop called Gotham Garage, and they are based in California. They'll basically take a $1,000 car and turn it into one worth around $100,000. They accomplish this through modifications, exchanges, and acquisitions of other vehicles. And this business model proves to have its own advantages and disadvantages, as financial goals are not always met. However, all workshop members have an extroverted and colorful personality, which makes the show a lot of fun to watch. One of the most interesting parts of each episode is when they are negotiating the final price of each project car. So the guys at Gotham start off by asking for a really big amount of money for the car, to which the client responds, no, that's too much, I can only do this. To which the guys at Gotham responds, no, that's too little, I need a little more. And they keep on negotiating until they meet at the middle point and they make the sale. At the time of making this video, there's only one season, but we fans are expecting a second one for next year. Number 4, Fastest Car. So this one's basically about quarter-mile drag races or 400 meters. What's interesting about this show is the way the races take place. So we got 4 participants in each race, 3 sleeper cars and 1 supercar. But first, let's define what's a sleeper. A sleeper is a heavily modified car on the mechanical aspect, but little or nothing on the outside. So most of the times you wouldn't expect a sleeper car to be a fast car. And the supercars that we see on the show are mostly stock, except for some paintwork or wrap work. So in the supercar department, we get to see McLarens, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Ford GTs, Dodge Vipers, among other vehicles. But let's talk about the profile of the sleeper drivers we see on the show. They are mostly middle-class people who always have a story to tell, and most of the time it is related to the death of a family member. It's essentially all tragedy. On the other hand, supercar drivers are mostly entrepreneurs who acquire their wealth through their own effort and success, although there are some that actually borrowed the supercars we see on the show. In general, there's a lot of drama and shit talking in this show, and we get very little or nothing about car specs. However, pretty much all race results go unexpected, and there are even some accidents on track during some episodes. But the coolest thing about this show is that at the end of each season, the winners of each episode compete at a final bigger race to see who'll be the absolute winner. So it does get pretty exciting, and again, the results are not what we expect. So at the moment of this video, there are actually 2 seasons available, and both of them are terrific. Number 3, Hyperdrive. So this one's basically like if the Fast and the Furious had a child with Ninja Warrior. This car show is tournament style. Drivers from around the world go to the US to compete in a track with extremely demanding obstacles. The drivers that make the least amount of time on their runs get a better position on the board. Drivers who make mistakes or have mechanical problems on the track risk getting eliminated from the game. We get to see male and female drivers, and everyone's got their vehicle modified by themselves. So this means each driver, with the help of their teams, is responsible for the performance of their cars. If you are a Need for Speed Underground fan, you need to watch this show if you haven't already. It's completely addicting, and you can watch it all night without even noticing. So a plus point for Hyperdrive is that we get unexpected results at the end of each episode. But a point against would be that the commentary is a little bit hard to listen to. So at the time of this video, there's only 1 season, but it has been received so well that fans are expecting a second one desperately. Number 2, Rust Valley Restorers. Okay, this one's not from Netflix actually, but from History Channel, but we are still able to find it on Netflix. So this is another show about car restoration, but this time in Rust Valley in Canada. We've got our main character, Mike Hall, who is a compulsive classic car collector. He owns a yard with around 400 junk cars waiting to be restored. So the premise of the show is that there are many cars to be restored, but there is a very tight budget. Mike's gotta restore every car one by one and be able to sell them for a price that makes sense for the business. The problem is the workshop has a lot of debt and not many sales. But the good thing about the show is that there are many interesting projects, disagreements among workshop members, and the influence of the local automotive culture. In addition, Mike and his friend Avery do make some funny jokes throughout the episodes. So at the time of this video, there is only 1 season, but fans are expecting a second one. And number 1, Formula 1 Drive to Survive. So before this show, I personally didn't know anything about Formula 1 and I wasn't sure I was gonna like it. But after watching it, I've recommended it to lots of people and everyone has absolutely loved it. This show could be one of the best documentary series available on Netflix right now. So Formula 1 Drive to Survive describes the events as they happened on the 2018 Formula 1 Championship. It focuses on the behind the scenes from the perspective of drivers, team leaders, teams, team owners, as well as the F1 regulatory body. But the way the story is presented, the competitiveness, the cinematography, the emotions, everything is just great. We get to see the viewpoint from teams like Haas, Williams, Toro Rosso, Red Bull, Renault and McLaren, but not Ferrari nor Mercedes. There is only one season at the time of this video, but the second one is confirmed and is expected to feature the appearances of Ferrari and Mercedes this time. So expect the second season to be released on early 2020. And so there you have it, the 5 best car shows on Netflix according to Consume TV. This one is the order we think is the best one. However, if you think this order doesn't go with you, feel free to share your own in the comments. There's obviously more car shows to watch on Netflix, but none of them compare to these 5 we have listed in this video. As a side note, we would have liked to include the Grand Tour in this video. However, that one's only available on Amazon Prime, and this video is only about car shows we can find on Netflix. So tell us, what do you think about these shows? Write it down in the comments and tell us whether you would like to see more content like this. For now, this is Consume TV and we'll see you in the next one.